begin with a moment of silence in mourning for Canada's dead reputation. We were once a world leader in human rights issues. No longer. 5 years of Stephen Harper has seen to that. Amnesty International last month released a report that said Canada has, quote, turned its back on international human rights. Amnesty cites Canada's years of strong opposition to the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, devastating funding cuts to organizations working for the protection of women's rights, a refusal to recognize the existence of a right to water, steadfast determination to avoid accountability for transferring Afghan prisoners into Afghan custody despite the torture risk, and cutting back of engagement in Africa such that Canada, quote, is no longer a key player in addressing pressing concerns about conflict and poverty throughout the continent, end quote. That's what 5 years of Stephen Harper will do for your reputation. Once a leader, now we've turned our backs, according to Amnesty International. The Canadian military handed over detainees to Afghani authorities who were later tortured. When this was brought to light by Canadian diplomat Richard Colvin, Stephen Harper had a choice to make. He could have responded, as he should have responded, by saying, we're involved in torture. We're Canada. We don't torture people. Who's responsible for this? How did this happen? What do we need to do to ensure that this never happens again? That's not what Stephen Harper did. By making this public, Mr. Colvin had soiled Canada's reputation. And as Prime Minister, Stephen Harper took that personally. So he did what he always did, what he always does when he's criticized. He attacked. He attacked Mr. Colvin. He smeared him publicly. The Canadian Diplomatic Corps was aghast at the conduct of the Prime Minister. 111 people signed a letter telling the Prime Minister that his conduct was disgraceful. That doesn't matter to Stephen Harper, of course. But there it is. That's what we've become. A country that has lost its reputation as a champion of human rights. A country that, when it's exposed for being complicit in torture, tries to cover that up rather than dealing with it openly and honestly so that it doesn't happen again. And a country whose leader smears the person who exposed this despicable conduct on the part of our country. That's Stephen Harper. That's the new reputation he's carved out for us on the international stage. Aren't you a proud Canadian? I know I sure am.